Every day, people walk around carrying hidden burdens, unresolved hurts, and unspoken fears. They lash out, they criticize, they judge, not always because they mean harm, but because they are fighting battles we cannot see. And yet, when their words strike us, we feel the sting, and anger rises within. But why? The world teaches us that anger is natural, that it's justified when we've been wronged. It tells us that to feel frustrated, insulted, or offended is simply part of life. But is that true? Or is there another way? A way where your peace is not dependent on how others treat you. You see, anger is not created by others. It is a response we choose. It does not come from the words spoken to us, but from the way we process those words. The moment we realize this truth, we take back our power. The enemy wants you to believe you have no control over your emotions, that when someone offends you, you must react. But that is a lie. Jesus himself walked among people who mocked him, ridiculed him, and sought to harm him, yet he never let their words shake him. Why? Because he was grounded in truth. He knew who he was, and he knew that no insult, no false accusation, no rejection could take away his purpose. If you want to never get angry or bothered by anyone, you must first understand that your emotions do not belong to the world, they belong to God. When you surrender your reactions to Him, you step into a peace that no one can take from you. The next time someone tries to steal your joy, remember this: they're only as powerful as the reaction you give them. Stay rooted in peace, and nothing will move you. No one has the power to control your emotions unless you give them permission. Think about that for a moment. So many people live their lives reacting to criticism, reacting to disrespect, reacting to negativity. They let their peace be dictated by the words and actions of others, as if their joy is something that can be taken away with a single insult. But here's the truth. You don't have to be offended just because someone tries to offend you. You don't have to be angry just because someone is trying to provoke you. Their words are like seeds, but they can only take root if you allow them to. Imagine someone knocks on your door, holding a box of garbage. They say, "Here, this is for you." Now you have a choice. You can take it, bring it inside and let it stink up your home, or you can refuse to accept it. You can say, "No, that doesn't belong here." It's the same with negativity when someone speaks harshly to you. You don't have to accept it. When someone tries to drag you into an argument, you don't have to engage. Their words only have power if you give them power. Jesus himself was insulted, mocked, and ridiculed, yet he never let their words control him. He didn't chase after his accusers trying to justify himself. He didn't react in anger. He remained steadfast, knowing that his identity and his peace came from God, not from the opinions of people. And that is the key. When your peace is rooted in God, no one can take it from you. When your emotions are surrendered to Him, no person, no situation, no insult can shake you. The next time someone tries to upset you, remember this: you are in control of what you allow into your heart. So, don't give anyone permission to steal your joy. Don't hand over control of your emotions to people who don't deserve it. Stand firm, stay at peace, and watch how small their negativity becomes when you refuse to feed it. The moment you let go and place your emotions in God's hands, you step into a peace the world cannot shake. You see, most people are walking around carrying the weight of their emotions. as if they have to manage everything on their own. They think I have to control my temper. I have to stop being bothered by people. I have to handle my frustrations. But the truth is, as long as you try to handle it by yourself, you will struggle. Because human effort alone is not enough. You may resist anger today, but what about tomorrow when someone else tests you? You may avoid conflict now, but what happens when life throws something unexpected your way? If you're relying only on your own strength, you'll find yourself right back where you started, frustrated, upset, and controlled by your circumstances. But when you surrender your emotions to God, everything changes. It means saying, Lord, I give this to you. I refuse to carry this anger. I refuse to be bothered by this person. I refuse to let my emotions control me. Instead, I will rest in your peace. That is the difference between living in struggle and living in victory, because God never intended for you to fight this battle alone. His word says, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. That means you don't have to hold on to frustration. You don't have to dwell on what someone said. You don't have to let offense take root in your heart. You can release it into God's hands, and he will replace it with a peace that no insult, no argument, no attack can take away. The world will always try to disturb your peace, but God offers you something greater. Peace that is not based on circumstances, but on trust in him. And when you fully surrender, you will walk through situations that used to upset you with a calm that confuses the world. You will stand firm while others lose their temper. You will smile while others complain. You will stay at peace while others are trying to drag you into conflict, because your emotions are no longer in the hands of people. They are in the hands of God. And he never fails. Before reacting, take a step back, breathe, and reflect. This simple act can change everything. Most people live on impulse. Something happens and they react instantly. Someone speaks harshly and they snap back. Someone offends them and they hold on to that offense. They let their emotions take over before they've had a moment to think, and then later they regret it. But what if you could break that cycle? The Bible says, be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. That means you have a choice. You don't have to react immediately. You can pause, you can take a breath. You can step back before you let your emotions take control. Because the first response is usually the wrong response. When emotions are high, wisdom is low. When frustration rises, clarity disappears. That's why so many people say things in anger that they wish they could take back. That's why small conflicts turn into big arguments. That's why relationships are broken, not because of what happened, but because of how people reacted. But here's the secret. When you train yourself to pause, you take back control. Before you respond to criticism, take a breath. Before you engage in conflict, step back. Before you let anger rise, reflect. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Will this matter tomorrow? Is this fight worth my time? And most of the time you'll realize it's not. Jesus was never in a rush to respond. When people challenged him, he stayed calm. When they tested him, he didn't react emotionally. He responded with wisdom. Even when he was falsely accused, he remained silent. Why? Because he wasn't controlled by the moment. He was led by the Spirit, not by emotions. And that is how you must live, led by wisdom, not by reaction. The next time someone tries to provoke you, remember this. You have the power to pause. You have the power to stay calm. You have the power to respond in peace instead of reacting in anger. That one decision to pause before reacting can change the way you live. It can save your peace, it can protect your relationship, and most of all, it can keep you in alignment with God's will, because when you move in wisdom, you walk in victory. When you understand that people act out of their own wounds and struggles, their words lose their sting. So many people walk around carrying hurt, disappointment, and fear. They lash out not because they hate you, but because they are battling something deep inside. And yet when they speak harshly, we take it personally. When they criticize us, we get offended. When they mistreat us, we let their words take root in our hearts. But here's the truth. What people say and do is often a reflection of their own pain, not a reflection of you. A bitter person will speak bitter words. A hurt person will cause hurt. A frustrated person will try to frustrate others. It's not about you, it's about what's going on inside them. And when you recognize this, you stop being controlled by what they say. Think about Jesus. As he was hanging on the cross, after being betrayed, beaten, and mocked, he looked at the very people who crucified him and said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." He could have been angry, he could have called down fire from heaven, but instead he had compassion, because he saw beyond their actions. He saw their ignorance, their brokenness, their blindness. And that is the same heart we must have. The next time someone mistreats you, instead of reacting in anger, stop and ask yourself, what are they going through? What pain are they carrying? What wounds are they acting from? Because when you see through the eyes of compassion, the offense loses its power. Instead of arguing, you pray. Instead of fighting back, you show grace. Instead of letting their words control you, you rise above it. And suddenly, their insults don't bother you, their negativity doesn't steal your peace, their attitude doesn't affect your joy. Because you realize it's not about you. And when you understand that, you become unshakable. Many arguments come from the desire to prove ourselves. Humility removes the battle before it begins. Think about how many conflicts start simply because someone wanted to be right. A disagreement turns into an argument turns into a grudge, and before you know it, relationships are broken. All because neither side was willing to back down. But here's something that will change your life. You don't always have to be right. So many people waste their peace trying to prove a point. They feel the need to defend themselves, to have the last word, to make sure everyone knows they're correct. But at what cost? The Bible says, "A fool gives full vent to his spirit, but a wise man quietly holds it back." That means wisdom is not found in proving yourself. Wisdom is found in knowing when to stay silent, when to walk away, and when to let go of the need to win. Jesus was the most powerful man to ever walk the earth. He had all authority. He could have silenced every critic, debated every Pharisee, and shut down every false accusation. But he didn't. He knew who he was. He didn't need to prove himself to anyone. And because of that, he never lost his peace. And that's the key, my friend. When you know who you are in God, you stop needing to win every argument. You stop wasting time trying to prove yourself to people who will never understand. You stop getting offended when someone challenges you, because your identity is not based on their opinion. Your identity is rooted in God. The next time someone tries to pull you into a pointless argument, ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Will this matter in eternity? And most of the time, the answer will be no. Humility is not weakness, it is strength under control. It is knowing that your peace is more valuable than being right. And when you learn to let go of the need to prove yourself, you will walk in a freedom the world cannot take away. But you don't have to accept every insult that comes your way. Just because someone throws a stone doesn't mean you have to pick it up. Every day, people will say things that could offend you. They will criticize you, misunderstand you, talk behind your back, and try to get under your skin. That is the nature of the world. But here's the truth. Offense is offered, but you don't have to take it. Imagine you're walking down the street and someone hands you a heavy bag of bricks. You have a choice. You can take it, carry it with you, let it weigh you down, or you can refuse to accept it and keep walking free. It's the same with offense. When someone insults you, you can pick it up and carry it, replay it in your mind, let it poison your heart. Or you can refuse to take it, release it to God, and keep your peace. Jesus was called a liar, a blasphemer, even a devil. But he didn't waste time being offended. He didn't chase down his critics saying, "How dare you talk about me like that?" No. He stayed focused on his purpose. And that's what you must do. The enemy wants you to take offense. He wants you to get distracted by petty conflicts. He wants you to live in bitterness so you can't move forward. But when you refuse to take offense, when you say, "I'm not carrying that weight, I'm not letting that into my heart," you win. The next time someone speaks against you, remember you are in control of what you allow into your spirit. Their words only have power if you give them power, so let it go. Stay in peace, keep walking in purpose, and watch how much lighter your life becomes. Forgiving quickly is the fastest way to free yourself from anger and bitterness. Many people hold on to offenses like a prisoner holds on to chains. Someone hurt them years ago, and they're still carrying the weight of that pain. Someone spoke against them, and they're still replaying those words in their mind. They say, "I'll forgive" when they apologize. "I'll let it go" when they make it right. But what if that apology never comes? What if they never admit they were wrong? Are you going to let their mistake keep you in bondage? Forgiveness is not about excusing what they did. It's not about saying it was okay. It's about setting yourself free. Because when you hold on to unforgiveness, you are the one suffering. It doesn't hurt them, it hurts you. It steals your peace, poisons your heart, and keeps you trapped in the past. Jesus showed us a different way. When he was betrayed, beaten, and crucified, he didn't hold on to bitterness. He didn't wait for an apology. He forgave even while he was still on the cross. "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." He understood that holding on to offense would only keep him from his purpose. And if Jesus, the Son of God, could forgive in the midst of his greatest suffering, what excuse do we have? Some of you have been carrying bitterness for too long. It's weighing you down. It's keeping you from walking in joy. But today, God is saying, let it go. Forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Forgive, not to free them, but to free yourself. And the moment you do, you'll feel the weight lift, you'll feel the anger fade, you'll step into a peace that no one can take away. Because forgiveness is not weakness. It is the strongest thing you can do. Peace comes when you stop expecting people to be perfect and accept them as they are. One of the biggest reasons people get frustrated is because they expect too much from others. They expect people to always be kind, to always be fair, to never let them down. And when people fail, they feel disappointed, hurt, or even angry. But here's the truth. People are flawed. They make mistakes. They have bad days. They don't always say the right thing. And if you expect perfection from them, you will always be frustrated. Jesus knew this. He surrounded himself with people who failed him over and over again. Peter denied him. Thomas doubted him. Judas betrayed him. But Jesus never let their failures steal his peace. Why? Because he didn't expect them to be perfect. He understood their weakness, and instead of being frustrated by it, he showed grace. That is how you must live. The moment you stop expecting people to be perfect, you stop being disappointed. When someone lets you down, instead of getting angry, you say, they're human, just like me. They make mistakes just like I do. And when you learn to see people with grace, their words and actions won't shake you anymore. The next time someone offends you, remind yourself they are not perfect, and that's okay. The next time someone says something hurtful, choose to believe maybe they didn't mean it that way. And even if they did, remember, you don't have to take it personally. You cannot control how others act, but you can control how you respond. And when you choose grace over frustration, you will walk in a peace that nothing and no one can take away. True strength is not in fighting every battle, it's in knowing which battles are worth your time. One of the greatest tricks of the enemy is to keep you distracted with meaningless fights. He wants you to argue over small things, to get offended over petty words, to waste your energy proving points that don't even matter. And before you know it, your peace is gone, your joy is drained, and you're caught up in conflicts that have nothing to do with your purpose. But hear me today. You don't have to fight every battle that comes your way. Some arguments are nothing more than traps. Some conflicts are designed to pull you away from where God is leading you. And wisdom is knowing when to walk away. Jesus was not afraid of confrontation, but he also didn't waste time on foolish arguments. When the Pharisees tried to trap him with their words, he didn't take the bait. When people mocked him, he didn't waste time defending himself. Why? Because he knew his mission, he knew what mattered, and he refused to let distractions pull him off course. And that is the mindset you need to have. Before you respond to criticism, ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Is this leading me closer to my purpose? Will this matter a year from now? And most of the time you'll find that the answer is no. Some battles are meant to be fought, but many are meant to be ignored. Some insults deserve a response, but most don't. Some conflicts require your attention, but many are just distractions. And when you learn to tell the difference, you will keep your peace, protect your focus, and walk in the strength that comes from knowing you don't have to fight every battle, you just have to fight the right ones. When you live to please God, the opinions of people lose their power over you. So many people are controlled by what others think. They crave approval, they fear rejection, and they spend their lives trying to make everyone happy. And because of that, they are constantly frustrated. If someone criticizes them, they feel discouraged. If someone disrespects them, they feel offended. Their emotions rise and fall based on how people treat them. But hear me today. You were not created to live for the approval of people. You were created to live for the approval of God. Jesus never lived for the opinions of men. He was loved by some, hated by others, praised one day, crucified the next. But none of it moved him. Why? Because he didn't base his identity on what people said. He only cared about one thing: doing the will of his Father. And that is how you must live. When you stop trying to please everyone, you stop being controlled by their words. When someone insults you, you don't take it personally, because their opinion doesn't define you. When someone rejects you, you don't let it shake you, because your worth comes from God, not from man. The Bible says, the fear of man brings a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord is safe. That means when you live for people's approval, you will always be trapped. But when you live for God's approval, you will always be free. The next time someone tries to tear you down, remind yourself, I don't live for their opinion. I live for God. The next time someone misunderstands you, remember, God sees my heart, and that's all that matters. And when you shift your focus from pleasing people to pleasing God, you will step into a confidence, a strength, and a peace that nothing in this world can take away. The more you focus on God's purpose for your life, the less people's negativity will bother you. One of the biggest reasons people get offended, upset, or discouraged is because they are too focused on what others are saying and doing. They spend their time worrying about who likes them, who doesn't, who criticized them, who mistreated them. And because of that, they are constantly distracted, constantly bothered, constantly losing their peace. When someone speaks against you, refuse to get distracted. I am doing a great work and I cannot come down. Because the enemy wants you distracted. He wants you caught up in offenses so you never move forward. He wants you focused on negativity so you never fulfill your calling. But when you keep your eyes on God's plan, when you refuse to let small things steal your attention, you will walk in victory. So stay focused, stay in purpose, let go of distractions, and watch how the opinions, insults, and negativity of others become too small to even bother you. Too many people go through life letting others dictate their emotions. If someone is rude to them, they get upset. If someone disrespects them, they feel the need to fight back. If someone ignores them, they take it personally. But that kind of living is exhausting because it puts your peace in the hands of people. But hear me today. You have the power to choose your response. Jesus was insulted, mocked, falsely accused, and even betrayed by those closest to him. But he never let their actions control his emotions. He didn't let their words steal his peace. He didn't allow their hatred to turn into hatred in his own heart. Instead, he responded with wisdom, with grace, and with an unshakable peace that nothing could take away. And that is the mindset you must have. The Bible says, "Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good." That means you don't fight fire with fire. You don't let someone's negativity drag you down. You don't repay insult with insult. Instead, you rise above it. The next time someone tries to provoke you, remind yourself, I control my response. When someone speaks harshly, you don't have to match their tone. When someone criticizes you, you don't have to defend yourself. When someone mistreats you, you don't have to let it ruin your day. Because the real test is not in what they do, it's in how you respond. And when you learn to take control of your reactions, you take control of your peace, you become untouchable, unshakable, immovable, not because people stop acting foolish, but because you stop letting it affect you. What you meditate on will determine your peace. Fill your mind with God's truth, not negativity. Many people are constantly frustrated because they spend too much time replaying negative situations in their minds. Someone offended them and they keep thinking about it. Someone criticized them and they keep replaying those words. They lie awake at night imagining what they should have said, how they could have responded, and before they know it, their entire mood is affected. But hear me today. Your thoughts shape your emotions. If you dwell on negativity, you will feel negative. If you focus on what people did to you, you will stay hurt. If you meditate on every offense, you will always be angry. That's why the Bible says, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, think on these things. because what you meditate on will either bring you peace or steal your peace. Jesus never let negativity take root in his mind. He could have spent his days thinking about who betrayed him, who doubted him, who misunderstood him, but instead he stayed focused on his mission. He kept his mind on the things of God, and because of that, no insult, no criticism, and no rejection could shake him. And that is how you must live. The next time someone offends you, ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Do I really want to spend my day thinking about this? And then make the choice. Let it go. Fill your mind with truth. Meditate on God's promises. Keep your thoughts fixed on what is good. And watch how quickly anger and frustration lose their grip on you. Because the battle is won or lost in the mind. And when you learn to guard your thoughts, you will walk in a peace that no one can take away. Joy is a choice, and when you choose joy, nothing and no one can take it from you. Too many people live like their happiness depends on others. If people treat them well, they feel good. If someone offends them, their whole mood changes. They allow circumstances, insults, and misunderstandings to control their emotions. And because of that, they are constantly on an emotional roller coaster. Up one day, down the next. But hear me today, joy is not something that happens to you. Joy is something you choose. The Bible says, "The joy of the Lord is your strength." That means your joy doesn't come from people. It doesn't come from circumstances. It doesn't come from being treated the way you think you deserve. Your joy comes from God, and because of that, it cannot be taken away. The next time someone tries to bring you down, remind yourself, my joy doesn't come from them. When things don't go your way, declare, my joy is not based on my circumstances. Because when you make the decision to live in joy, people's words won't control you. Insults won't steal your peace. Frustration won't weigh you down. And suddenly you'll realize you are free. Free from offense, free from frustration, free from the emotional ups and downs. Because your joy is not in this world. It is in the unchanging, never failing presence of God.